Hey everyone, I thought everyone might want to see some mango trees that's been a bit more successful for me. I'm about to show you 8 mango trees that has some multigraphs. They're all planted on a Laverne Manila rootstock that I planted out in the ground back in 2019. So here's the first one. It has quite a few different varieties on it. This first one right here, you can see is called Dolores. It's probably the only variety I seen this year that has some probably what looks like some major fungal issues. Lots of kind of stem dieback and blackening. I'll probably end up cutting this back once it gets a bit hotter and see what it does. So this is Dolores. These grafts took place last spring. You can see most of it. So right here, for example, this is where the original graft took, and it just kind of took off. This right here is Little Gem. You can see some blooms. This one isn't it. You can see some blooms here. This next one right here is Sunrise. Again, the graft took place right here. There's quite a few blooms still left and they look pretty good. I may let it hold a fruit or two. We'll see. Okay. Next up is Super Julie. The blooms, they came out, they got damaged earlier, the early blooms, but these new ones look very clean right now. As you can see, pretty much not much blemish at all. This is Super Julie. This one right here is Sweet Tart. Again, the graft took place right here. It grew quite well and had quite a few different branches. Most of the blooms got damaged, but you can see a few good ones here. Probably not gonna let this hold any fruits, but we'll see. Okay. Just a little bit more of the tree, just from a different angle. I put a bunch of new grafts in recently in the last week. Hopefully, maybe half of them will take. Okay. Next up, this is the next tree. This one is actually probably my most vigorous rootstock. As you can see, it's quite large in terms of the trunk size. This right here is Peach Cobbler. Yes. Here's an ice cream. Not really doing so well. This was grafted late last year, so an ice cream is kind of known to not really perform that well here in California. We have here Valkyrie. It has quite a few blooms. Probably not. The graft is kind of down here, but I won't let this hold any fruits. It's just way too small. Behind it is Pim Sang Wen. Again, probably I won't let this hold any fruits. The stem and the branch is way too small. Next to it is Honeykiss. Again, very small branches right now. Won't let it hold fruit. Next up is this one's Kiel Savoy. Grafted this late last year. Hopefully it goes a bit more this year. Ice cream that hasn't really leafed out or anything yet. This is Malika. The one behind it is called Ambrosia, and this one was a very vigorous grow. As you can see, it just simply took off. This is Juliet. This one's called Diamond. Looks like the blossom's probably gonna make it. This is Pineapple Pleasure. Grafted late last year. Hopefully it does some growing this year. This is Maha Chinook. It's looking pretty good. I think I got a pretty good growth on it last year. Have a few new grafts. Again, hoping for maybe half of it to take. This is Harvest Moon. Again, grafted late last year. All you kind of see is blooms. Next tree. This is a Super Julie right here. Few new grafts. Another Malika. Another Sweet Tart. This one had a very heavy bloom. I'll probably end up thinning quite a few of it and maybe let it hold on to maybe a fruit or two. Another ice cream graft. Again, doesn't look that great. It's a Juliet right here. All the grass from that was made late last year, just kind of pushed no vegetative growth and just bloomed. This one is a Nam Duc Mai Mun. Not sure how it's gonna do. Lots of the blooms is damaged. Okay, next up, this tree hasn't done well. I attempted several grafts and they keep on failing, so the tree looks kind of in bad shape right now just because of all the failed grafts in the prior year. This one's again another Super Julie. This one is Little Gem. Okay. Next up. Okay. This is Aman Pasan. The blooms actually looked quite bad earlier during the storms, but it seems to rebloom a little bit and it looks a bit better. Branches are very skinny, so probably won't let this hold any fruit. The one next to it, this is an ST Maui. And this one is a very vigorous grower. You can see it pretty much took up almost the whole tree after it was grafted last year. Here's a graft right here. I would definitely let these hold a few fruits. Next up, this is Sessi Love. I am probably not gonna let this hold any fruits. It's the only graft I have of it, so I'll probably end up thinning out everything. Okay. Next up, one more tree. Okay, this right here is a Bombay. For whatever reason, it seems to be the only tree that took quite a bit of time to flush out. It's barely flushing out right now. And it doesn't even look like it's a full bloom. It's kind of a mixed bloom. The one below it, this right here, is Dupree Saigon. Again, a bit too small. Don't let it hold any fruits. Next to it is Cat Saigon. Sometimes they call it Golden Queen. It has quite a few different names. Okay, next tree. Again, this one is one of those trees where had several failed grafts last year, so it doesn't look that great of shape this year just because of all the pruning I did last year. This is a cotton candy with a Super Julie that took. Okay, the last one of the 8 trees that I had planted on 2019. A few small grafts, just a little gem. A few ones that's kind of pushing a bit. The 2 large ones that took, well, actually 3 large ones that took last year. This is one of my seedlings, so I grafted a seedling onto a manila. So it grew pretty well last year. This is Florigon. Looked really great earlier in the year, but after all the storms, all the blooms looks pretty bad. I'm just waiting for the weather to warm back up, and then I'll probably start trimming it all off. The one next to it that is quite large now is Graham. And the blooms look really bad early in the storm, but they seem to recover quite well. And again, graft was made last year. It's quite vigorous, so I might let it hold a couple fruits. Okay, that's all for now, at least on these 8 trees.